songwriting community, this is Tommy, and as promised, I want to share with you the interview that I did with none other than Chris Squire. Now, a little background just leading into the interview. I just want you to understand the context of where and when and how this all took place. I used to do some writing for a local alternative paper in Jackson, Mississippi, and Yes was on tour, and they were coming to town, and they were playing in the entirety of the albums, Yes, the album Close to the Edge, and Closer to the One. They were playing those albums in their entirety and along with some greatest hits, and their management reached out to me. I had just started this job, and their management reached out and said, hey, we're coming to town. Do you guys want to do an interview? And I said, yeah, I want to talk to Chris Squire. Totally not realizing that I would actually get to talk to Chris Squire. But we set up the time. It was a phone interview. That's all we could do with this paper. We didn't do email interviews or anything like that. It had to be a recording. So this is me talking to Chris Squire back in 2013 regarding this tour and them coming to Jackson to play this stuff. So some of the questions are pretty typical. I don't think there's anything earth-shadowing. I was writing for a paper with wide appeal. So the whole idea was to promote the show that was coming to town. So we didn't get into a lot of nitty-gritty details, but it was a great interview. He was very gracious, a very kind person. I'm going to put a picture of Chris just so your screen's not blank. But enjoy this audio interview from yours truly and Chris Squire. Thanks for watching.
Fine.
Hi, Tommy. You're on with Chris.
Hi, thanks so much. Hi, Chris. My name's Tommy Burton. How are you doing?
Hi, Tommy. I'm good. I'm fine, thanks.
Very good, very good. Well, I just had a few questions for you, and thanks for taking time to talk with us this afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, the tour did well and over back home.
I'm just resting up at home for the moment. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Getting a break before you come to the States, huh?
Well, actually, I live in Phoenix.
Oh, good,
Arizona.
good.
So, I'm here right now in the triple-digit temperatures we have here.
Well, then you certainly can relate because we're pretty hot over here in Mississippi as well.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, I just had a few questions for you to get ready for the show before it rolls into Jackson next month, and just some of the. Probably some that you've been asked before, but just to give the crowd here a little bit of what to look forward to. But, the first one I wanted to ask you, of course, was concerning, being since how you're one of the founding members of Yes, and you guys have been around for quite a while now. When you and John formed the band back so when, did you, we know the term progressive rock. It's become kind of part ingrained with us, and of course, Yes being one of the pioneers of that genre. Did you know that you guys were doing that, or was it just something that kind of just?
No, not really. I think the descriptive term came later. I think we were just making music, and in a way that we wanted to, and that was just and later on, the kind of music that we made became. Known as progressive rock, and of course, there's a bunch of other bands that came up as well. Like Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and Genesis. After that, of course, that seemed to fit into the same sort of genre of kind of. I guess they're slightly classically influenced rock and roll. I guess is what you could really call it.
Yeah, definitely taking the cues from groups like the Beatles, of course, but then but taking it to a whole new level and just putting a whole
I think John and I both have a love of symphonic classical music as well as of course, as you said, the Beatles and everything that had been happening in England in the 60s and when we were kids. So we melded it all together really, and ended up creating progressive rock.
That's the thing. Creating a genre, that's kind of not many people can say that. There's very few. I mean, there's a lot of people that have followed in that, but to actually say that you had a hand in creating it, I mean, it's kind of a big honor.
Yeah.
And certainly with that, goes without saying, like you had mentioned the bands after you. But one of the things about it, though, and I mean, a lot of people talk about progressive rock as a genre. Of course, musically, it's complex and everything, but and especially with Yes, and I know your background too, singing with choirs, is the vocal harmonies are fantastic. I mean, they're stacked in there, and some really nice vocal arrangements to go along with the musical arrangements.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of sort of the blueprint that we started off with for Yes, was that we wanted to have a band of accomplished musicians who could play their instruments, but also we had a real appreciation of the vocal harmonies and arrangements for vocals as well. So we wanted to get a bit of everything, I guess, into our music.
Very good. Well, I think I could honestly tell you, as someone that's listened, that you succeeded in that. So that's a success. And with this tour and you guys doing the Yes album, Close to the Edge, Going for the One, was there any particular reason why those albums? I can follow definitely like Close to the Edge, because I know it's considered the pinnacle of what's called progressive rock. I know I always received that, but I mean, how did you guys go about these three albums?
Well, I guess really what it was an idea we had hanging around for a while to do a sort of a tribute to our own albums, and from the 70s, I guess, really.
Right.
And we thought about different ways of doing it. And which albums we would do. So we've had a long time to think about it, and I guess it just boiled down to that when we said, "Oh, okay, we don't have a new product out in 2012, so let's try doing that." The three album set, with from that era, and it just whittled down to the fact that we thought that those three albums complemented each other. The Yes album being the first album really that put Yes on the international stage and brought us to the attention, especially in the US, of the audience. And then Close to the Edge, of course, was the first album where we attempted to do a long piece of music that lasted the whole side of the vinyl album, a 20-minute long piece. And so that has its place in our history. And then Going for the One was the first album that we recorded outside of the UK, actually. And in fact, it was we did it in Switzerland. In Montreux, and so that has its own sort of like milestone quality about it. And so we thought the three albums would complement each other. So that's why we're doing those three.
Right. Well, I'm certainly looking forward to hearing it in July, because, of course, Going for the One has Parallels on it, which is one of my all-time favorites. So it's a cool song.
Yeah. We've actually been doing that for last few months, and we've nearly got it right.
Well, it's going to be fun to watch. Well, and kind of in that, I mean, you're doing the three albums in their entirety. Is there any additional material you guys are doing, or is that kind of that's the show?
No, that is the show, and you will get Roundabout from Fragile as an encore. So
right. Okay, that's cool.
Bonus
yeah.
There,
Yeah, kind of a little bonus treat for sitting that out. That's good. That's good. Well, and that kind of goes into the next question. I mean, obviously this version of Yes, the personnel in the band, of course, new vocalist with John Davison. I mean, did that pose any challenges? Because I mean, some of the players.
No, I mean, John's been with us for a year now, and just about over a year, and he's working out real well as the lead singer, kind of frontman guy, and we're real happy with the job he's doing, and he's a great guy to get along with too. So
that always helps.
So everything's going well in that direction.
Well, yeah, and plus with Jeff and Alan, I mean, are they bringing kind of their stamp into what's going? Or are they doing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've always liked Jeff, and I enjoyed playing with him when he was in Yes the first time,
right,
in 1980 for the Drama album, and I've kept in touch with him over the years as well, and we've worked on a couple of side projects over the years, but it's nice to have him back in the band.
Yeah,
he's a great keyboard player.
That's good. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And of course, this is kind of winding down here. The venues you guys are choosing for this tour, I noticed there's a lot of like halls and auditoriums, which is probably similar to what you see a lot of in England as well. Playing those three particular albums in the order that you're playing them, versus sort of the larger venues, which I know you guys have done too in such a long career. I mean, do you find these halls and auditoriums to be kind of more just more open for the audience to enjoy that and to get more out of the show?
Well, I mean, we obviously try and play in places where the sound is good, which is our primary concern.
Right.
But of course, over the years we played everywhere from clubs to stadiums, and and we still do. It's odd, sometimes we still do quite a lot of the big open air sheds, in the summer, and and then also theaters as well, and the occasional kind of big club we do. So we're always in slightly different environments, but it's great to know we still have such a great audience, and we have a lot of die-hard fans that definitely come to see us, and these days there's a lot of younger people who come to the shows as well. Right. So that's always a nice sight to see.
Well, definitely, especially in keeping just the whole the Yes name alive. It's always encouraging, especially when you've been doing it. I mean, it's it's kind of a nice payoff when you see the younger people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, very good. Well, that's we'll kind of go with that. I feel like there's some good material, and we'll get it going and get some good coverage. And thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us this afternoon. I really do appreciate it. And
it's been a pleasure.
And look forward to seeing you when you come to town next month.
Okay.
Have a good tour.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, Chris. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.